It really matters.
So do you find that out in the world that you have to rein some of that in a little bit in order to feel accepted or anything?
Absolutely. There's sometimes more than others where I feel like I might have to tone down my personality and just who I am as far as being gay, because not so much that or not at all that I'm ashamed of it or that I wish I weren't, but because unfortunately a lot of people don't feel comfortable and are not accepting of gay men, and so I find myself, and I'm sure others do too, find myself having to kind of tone down and not necessarily express myself the way I normally would if I were just with a small group of friends. So, yeah, unfortunately, I think there are times when I have to do that, and I hope that after this, those times will be less and less, and I won't pay too much attention to what or how people might react to me, as long as I'm comfortable with how I am. I'm thrilled. I'm ecstatic that I had the chance to come here and do this. I mean, what a great opportunity. And even if I leave here only, knowing the couple of things that I've learned about myself, it was so incredibly worth it. But I didn't. I'm leaving here, with a lot of really good new friends and experiences and memories, and I'm absolutely just thrilled. Going through this whole process, it kind of gives me a new hope that there might be someone out there for me, or there will be someone out there for me, and just because I'm gay doesn't mean I can't find someone to spend my life with and share everything about myself with. And so I'm going away with I guess like a renewed hope that will happen, and watching everyone's personalities coming out like right in front of you, and there's no way you can't get around what you're going to have to do, and so you might as well make the best of it, and everyone absolutely did, and it was hilarious.
Stereotypes are bullshit. We're individuals, and that's really what I'm hoping that comes out of this show is individuality, and to show that gay type, straight type, there's no such thing. Yeah, again, I'll say it again, that stereotypes are bullshit, and there's no need to feed into those anymore, especially this day and age. I have a good friend of mine, really, really, really sacred friend of mine, that is gay, and I think our friendship was really one that really opened up my eyes to that stereotypes are bullshit, that they don't make sense, and a friend of mine is a lot like me, and it's at that point that I realized, stereotypes are nothing, and our sexuality shouldn't determine how we're perceived in society. It shouldn't. So he was kind of an inspiration for me going on that show, and that's really why I wanted to be a part of it, was to help break down these stereotypes and to show that there's no difference between gay or straight, and because we're individuals, and that's really what our sexuality is vital. It's a big part of who we are, but it doesn't determine who we are and how we should be perceived, and unfortunately it does sometimes in this society, all too often. I didn't take any different approach as far as who I am. I carry myself in the same way that I would carry myself if it were known that that I'm a straight man. I didn't change any of my mannerisms. I didn't feed into any of those stereotypical changes, because that would have went against everything that I stood for going on the show. I went on to essentially be myself. Unfortunately, I had to basically hide away my sexuality, but that didn't change who I am and the way I carry myself. So I didn't act any different than who I am, and that's because that would have been going against what I believe in. When I was 19, which is actually the age that I contribute to my coming out day on the show. It was that time where I'd graduated from high school and had met some people, and through those newfound relationships, my sexuality was being questioned, and I was being sort of labeled as, you know, that I was gay. And so it was at that point in my life where I really had to take a step back and am I going to worry about my reputation? Am I going to worry about what people are saying about me as far as this and that? Because that essentially isn't me. But what I came to find out is those friendships and that were so much more important to me.
Now that I have a chance to really think about the process, you know, I think they went through a lot of what I went through when I was, you know, 18, 19, coming out for the first time. You know, you build these friendships and you want to be honest so bad. You want to tell them, hey, here's who I am, you know, screw all this other stuff. Here's what's going on, but you know, you can't. You know, I know when I was 18, 19, coming out for the first time just to my friends, it was because I didn't say things I wanted to because I was afraid of losing love. I was afraid of losing friends. The difference is this was a game show, so I get that. But I think some of the emotions that we were all feeling were very genuine and very real, you know. But I know a lot of the guys were having those same emotions I was having when I was that age, and that's what is important about this experience. That if they can feel that, understand what we were going through, what we have gone through, and America can get that, to know what it's like to be a gay man and not share who you are completely. I mean, come on, you know. I don't think general America gets what that feels like. And maybe this experience might shed some light on what that feels like, to know who you are but not be able to say anything. If that's the message this show gets across, it did its job. And at the same time, you get to watch a great two guys kind of get together at the end. That's what's so important about it, you know, and that's what I got out of this experience. I was taken aback. At first I was kind of disappointed that it wasn't what I thought it was, but at the same time, with retrospect, if people can get what it's like to be closeted, if they can get the gay experience, you know, and be drawn in and see how great all the guys were, gay or straight. I mean, that's the most important thing to me. When I found out the guys that I thought, you know, were gay were actually straight, it gave me some insight to people in my life, their experience when they found out I was gay. You know, I had friends that got angry. I had friends that cried. You know, my own sister cried, you know, and I was like, what, you know, okay, but now I get it. You know this great person, you have this great bond, you know who they are, all these things, and you get the bomb drop that they're gay. And what's changed in the end? Just their sexuality. So all in all, you know, I went through all those emotions. I did cry. I did get angry. But at the end, I met these great guys, and the only thing that changed was their sexuality. And I think that's the biggest lesson of this whole experience.
I really had a good time on this experience in Palm Springs. It was something that I never expected I would do, and I got to meet some really incredible people that I, having come from San Francisco, would never have the opportunity to meet. And I hope that I will get to, you know, maintain some friendships with those people and see them when they come to San Francisco, or I go down to LA or San Diego. I can look them up and, you know, hang out with them and stuff and make some more friends, because you never can have too many friends in the world. I think one of the liberating things about this experience was it pushed me to leave my comfort zone of my friends and family back home and go out and do something with a bunch of people that I've never met, and deal with, you know, not having the support that I'm used to having, and kind of just realizing that I'm okay, you know, to do that. I am really glad that I did this experience, because there have been times in my mind back at home that I had debated calling up and saying I couldn't come. Once you close the door and the opportunity's gone past, you can never go back and do it again. So even though everything I'm going through right now, I'm really glad that I'm here. And my dad would have wanted me to be here, because he was excited that I was going to do this opportunity, that I was going to be on TV. And I mean, I guess I'm part of me sad that he won't ever get to see it, but, you know, I'll be able to know that he, you know, in his own way, he'll be seeing it. You know what I mean? I think the most challenging